How is it going, people, and welcome back to another C# Discord bot episode. So in this part, let's take a look at interacting with the bot. So let's make some commands that allow the user to interact with the bot. And we're just going to start with the basics. So I know there's stuff like buttons and all that kind of stuff that allows the user to interact with the bot, but we're going to get the basics out of the way so that you get a feel of how interactivity works in this bot. Just before the video starts, I actually made a C# Discord bot template on GitHub, as you can see here. So if you lot are a beginner and like you see something that's really easy to get started, I have this nice template here which pretty much allows you to make your own Discord bot in just a few seconds. Literally all the basic files are in this repo. Through this template, you are able to create your own GitHub repo that contains your very own Discord bot. So all the basics are here. So pretty much everything that we've learned in the first two parts are contained in this repo. So literally just the basics for you to get started. It's got the program.cs file which contains the bot configuration, so everything is literally over here, and then we've got a nice basic command class which just contains one command at the moment, but it literally contains everything that you need to get started. So if you're interested in using this, then definitely check the link in the description below. If you have a read at the readme, then this will show you how to set this up properly. So as you can see, there's a whole section for setup, and then if you press on this link, it will show you how to effectively use this this template. So enough waffle, let's get started with interactivity in a Discord bot. Let's make sure that we have the interactivity package installed. So let's search up D# plus, and then let's make sure we have the D# plus.interactivity package installed in this solution, right? So like in the template, it's already installed for me, so I don't have to worry about that. And then also in the program.cs file, we need to tell the client to use interactivity in the bot. So what we need to do is say client.use interactivity and then make a new interactivity configuration as it shows in the method right here. It is null, so it's optional, but let's create it, right? And then let's set the default timeout to 2 minutes, or pretty much any sort of time that you want, right? So make sure it's at least 1 minute, right? But what this line does is it pretty much ensures that any interactivity action has a timeout, otherwise it'll run infinitely, right? So say if it's waiting for a message, or if it's waiting for a user to make a reaction, right? It's going to time out after a set number of minutes, so that it doesn't carry on infinitely and maybe cause the bot to crash, right? So once we've made the interactivity configuration like this, we are ready to start making interactivity commands. So let's go to our command section, and I'm going to show you a few examples of how you can use interactivity to make some cool features in your bot, right? So let's have the bot wait for a message, and then once it's got that message, it's going to send a message back to the channel, right? So that sounds simple enough, right? So when we execute this command, the bot is going to wait for us to send a message, and then once we've sent the message, it's going to do something like sending a message back or any other action possible, right? So first of all, let's import interactivity into this command. So in our main bot configuration, we've told the client to use interactivity. So we need to get that instance of interactivity into this command, right? So let's say program, and let's use the client. So let's use the bot's own client. This is a mistake that a lot of people make. They use ctx.client, and that's going to get a different instance. That's going to get the instance of the user's client, right? And we don't want that. So let's get the bot's own client so that we're working with only the bots and no one else, right? So let's say the program and then clients. And then let's say get interactivity. So get interactivity. There we go. So get interactivity, and as you can see, it's using our interactivity package that we just installed, right? So let's say get interactivity, and let's store this in a variable. So let's say var interactivity equals program.client and then get interactivity. So what this should contain is, there we go, an instance of the interactivity extension. So cool. Now we can start using interactivity in our commands. So let's see what kind of methods this interactivity variable contains. So let's see interactivity, and this should give you an idea of what it can do. So if we go to the methods, look at all these methods here. Look, there's collect reactions async, there's wait for button async. So this allows the bot to wait for the user to press a button. Let's see, wait for message async. So this is what we're about to use. Wait for modal async, wait for reaction async. So this is the method that makes the bot wait for a user to react to a message. So like waiting for typing async. So even little things like that. Wait for typing, wait for user typing. There's a lot of stuff in here that you can mess with, and it could be really useful for like the commands that you're about to create. So let's use the basic one. Let's use wait for message, right? So let's make this bot wait for the user to send a message, right? So let's do that. So let's store this in a variable, right? So let's say var message to retrieve, and let's await this. So like this is obviously like an async command, right? So let's say await, and then interactivity, and then let's say wait for message async, okay. So in this method, let's see what it needs. So let's end it off like that. So let's see what it needs. So what this is asking for is like a query, basically. What kind of message do you want me to wait for, right? So let's just say the message as the query type, and let's make a query. So let's say equals and then an arrow, and let's say message dot, and then we can say what we want, right? So like, do we want like a specific ID? Do we want a specific user to be mentioned, right? Do we want this message to be pinned, right? Like, is this message, containing any of these things? Let's just wait for the message.content. So the message.content, and let's set this equal to a random string. So let's wait for the user to say, I don't know, hello. So let's just say hello, like this. So what this is, so like this query is basically telling this method, wait for someone to send a message saying hello. Like, let's just get the user details of the person who said hello, and let's just say X user said hello. Seems pretty simple, right? So now what we can do here is just say await ctx channel send message async, and then we can say in a nice concatenated string, let's say ctx user and then username said hello. And let's actually check if the user actually said hello, right? It's because this is just going to send in all instances. So let's say if the message to retrieve dot result and then the content is equal to hello, then send this message. So like we can just Control X and then Control V this. So this if statement is going to ensure that if this if this wait for message async has successfully retrieved someone that said hello, it's going to send the message back saying X user has said hello, right? So like this is pretty simple. Let's give it a test. So let's press start. All right, so cool. Like the bot is started up. So what we're going to do is execute this command and then send a message saying hello, and then it should give us a message back saying that I said hello, right? So let's say test. So cool, it's now waiting for me. So I'm going to say hello. And there we go. So this is literally just like the basics of how interactivity works. There's so many like other complex things that you can do with interactivity, but this is just a basic example. So I've said hello and it's waited for me to say that message, and it's recognized that a user has said hello, and it's gone to that if statement. Is the content of the message that you received hello? If so, then yes, send the message, right? So let's see what happens. Like if I say something else. So let's say test, and then I'm just going to say blah blah blah. See, look, like it does nothing. So it's just not going to do anything. And then if I say hello after, it's not going to do anything because the command is over. Or well, I mean, like there we go. I mean, like it works. So okay, like that was a short mistake there because it's still waiting. So bear in mind, it's still waiting. And the default timeout is 2 minutes, as I set here. So if that 2 minutes passed, and then I said hello, it's not going to work. So like that's how the wait works. Like, of course, like like there is a timer override over here. If you put a time limit here, then it's going to override the the timeout that you set here. So if I set it to 5 minutes in this method, it's going to actually wait for 5 minutes. Like this is the default timeout of the interactivity configuration. So let's do like another example. So let's like let's do one where it waits for a specific reaction on a message, right? Like let's do the same thing again, but let's have the bot wait for a reaction on a certain message. So let me just say here, like let's just send like a basic message saying, please add an emoji or please add a reaction to this message. So let's say, please react to this message. So cool. So like we use this message ID as the one that we're checking for. So once again, let's get our interactivity. So let's say var interactivity equals equals to the program, client, and then interactivity. So like get interactivity. Cool. So please do not use the CTX client's interactivity, because that is a separate instance of your own bot's interactivity, or client basically. Don't use CTX and then client. Always use your public that you've got here, because that's your bot's actual client, right? So like once we've got that, let's use this interactivity to approach wait for a reaction. So let's say var message to react. So let's say await interactivity, and let's see what methods we need to use. So let's see like there's collect reactions async. That's actually going to collect the actual reactions, but it's not going to wait for it. So let's see wait for reaction async. So like here's the method that we need to use. So wait for reaction async. So let's see what this needs. So let's let's read the method details. So first of all, it needs once again the query, and then once again a timer override, and that's optional pretty much. So let's once again say, like this time, let's put the message ID of the message we are trying to check for reactions, right? So let's put in the same query. So let's say message as the type, and then we'll say equals and then arrow, and then let's check for the message ID. So let's say dot message, and then like there should be an ID. There we go. So ID, and then we can paste in the ID of this message. So I can just press the 3 dots and then copy message ID as you can see there, and then let's paste it in. So the ID is a ulong, isn't it? Yeah, so it's a ulong variable. So let's just keep it like this. Cool. So what this query is going to do is wait for a reaction on the message with this ID that we just put in here. So let's do an if statement. So has the user put a reaction on the message with this exact ID? If so, let's actually send back the name of the emoji that they used to react, right? So like that, so like that'd be cool. So let's say if the message to react dot result, and let's say the message dot ID once again is equal to that same exact ID. So if like that is the case and it's successfully got everything that it needs to, let's get the emoji of let's get the emoji name that they use to react, right? So let's say await CTX channel send message async, and let's say like the user, so CTX dot user dot username used the emoji with name, and then let's put the emoji in. So let's say message to react. Let's get the result, and then let's get the emoji, because this is because that's what we're waiting for. Emoji and then the name. Simple as that, right? So cool. Let's give this a go. So let's press start. Cool. So nothing's gone wrong there. So let's execute test 1. So test 1. All right, cool. Let's add a simple reaction onto this message. So let's react with a thumbs up. So it should get the name thumbs up, as you can see at the bottom there. So let's react, and yeah, there we go. As you can see, it says my username, use the emoji with name, and it's actually put the emoji there. So it looks like like even if you put the name there, it's still going to apply. But there we go, thumbs up. So it's literally got the emoji. That's pretty cool, right? It's pretty cool, and there's many more other uses for this like this wait for reaction async method. Maybe like you have a command where it says please react with tick to store your details, or please react with a cross to cancel this command, and then they can mess with that a bit. So like can wait for them to react for a tick, and then it'll like do a specific task, like store some details or whatever. So like these are two cool basic examples. Let's do a real life like command. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to make a nice poll command where the users can react with like a certain emoji to vote for a specific option. So for example, let's just say I had poll, I don't know, like vote for your favorite fruit, and then you have 1 is apple, 2 is orange, and then like more fruits, and then like for example I react with the number 1. So let's get 1. There we go, 1, and then let's get 2. So like take this as an example. So like the bot's going to automatically put these like these options as reactions, and then the users can vote for them. So they can click on 1, they can click on 2, and then after a specific time period it's going to count all the votes, and then it's going to say who won. So for example, if someone voted apple and then no one voted orange, it's going to be 1-0, right? So let's make a nice poll command using interactivity, and like this should give you like a really nice idea of how interactivity works and what you can do with it. So let's get started on this poll command. Alright, so like this is using everything that we've learned so far. So first of all, let's make the command. So let's declare it in square brackets, so command, and then let's name it poll. Cool. And then let's make the method for it. So let's say public async task, and then let's name it poll. Cool, and then let's put in the command context and then ctx. Alright, so now we're ready. So first of all, let's get our interactivity instance. So literally it's the same thing as we've done here. Let's get it from our actual client, not ctx.client. So let's say var interactivity, or let's just actually copy and paste it. Makes life a lot easier, right? So program.client and then get interactivity. Okay, so let's actually like store the emojis, right, that we're going to use. So let's store everything from 1 to 4. So let's have 4 options as an example, right, for our poll. So maybe like the user can input in 4 options, and then it'll appear in like a nice embed saying what all the 4 options are, and then it'll put all the reactions on automatically. So let's make a nice Discord emoji array that just contains all the emojis 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So let's make a Discord emoji array. So let's say Discord emoji, and then let's make it an array, and let's name this our emoji options, right? So, and let's make our array. So like let's put in our 4 emojis, right? So it's going to be these emojis, so the 1, 2, 3, 4 ones. So it's going to be pretty easy. So like the way we do this is we say Discord emoji, and then we say from name. So there's lots of different options here that you can try, from guild emote for like specific guild emojis, from Unicode if you really want to go old school, but let's just do it from name. It's pretty simple, right? So let's see what this wants. So it wants the so like first of all it wants the client, the name, and then if it wants to include guilds, which is automatically true, but like we don't really need guilds, so we'll just leave that to true. So once again, our client is just the same thing as program dot client. Simple as that. And then the name of the 1 emoji is just, it's like just 1, isn't it? Yeah, it's like just semicolon, normal colon, and then 1. So like that. Simple as that. And let's do the same thing for 2, 3, and 4. Okay, cool. So like we've got our 4 emojis. So when we send our embed message with our poll, we'll be adding these emojis onto them before the user starts reacting to them, right? So that's what we'll do. Alright, so first of all, let's create the embed that's going to contain each of our 4 options. So like if you haven't realized already, we need to pass in those 4 options, right? So let's have 4 string parameters over here. So let's say string option 1, and let's do this for all 4 options. Let's say string option 2. And one thing that we also need to do is put in the poll subject. So what is this actual poll going to be? What we can do is say remaining text. Okay, cool. So let's make our Discord embed message that contains all of these 4 options and then the poll title, and then we can add all of these emojis on as options, right? So let's do that. So let's say var poll message is going to be equal to let's do it as a nice embed builder. So let's say new Discord embed builder. So Discord embed builder, cool. And then let's set the color to, I don't know, something like, let's say So like Discord color, and then let's pick a random color. Screw it. Let's just pick I don't know, red. Screw it. Alright. And then the title is going to be the poll title that we're passing in over here. So the title is going to be the poll title. There we go. And then the description is going to be each of these 4 options. So what I'm going to do is actually create a nice string for it up here so that we can just insert it in nice and neatly. So let's just name it string and then options description. And let's make it look nice. So what I'm going to do is insert each option according to the emoji. So option number 1 is going to be alongside emoji number 1. So let's say, so cool. First emoji, and then the option 1 comes after it, and then we can do \n after it to start a new line. And then we can do the same thing for all the other 3 options. And we're done. So now we just send this message, and once we've set this message, we need the bot to apply all of these emojis as reactions onto this message so that the users can start voting for which option they want, right? Like, first of all, let's send this message. So let's do the normal await CTX channel and then send message async. Okay, cool. And then the embed, since this is a Discord embed builder, as the poll message. Cool. So how do we add reactions onto a message that we've already sent? So first of all, what we need to do is store this in a variable. So this is the message that we're actually sending, right? Let's store this in a variable. So let's say var, let's call this sent poll equals await ctx.channel and then the sent message. So this is the poll that's already been sent. So what we can do with this is actually add reactions to a message. So like if we go to sent poll now and I view the methods, there's like quite a decent amount of methods that are very similar to like the methods in the interactivity class. So like as you can see, there's create reaction async, there's delete all reactions async, there's there's modify async, pin async, respond. Like, you get the idea, right? What we need to do is create a reaction on this message, but we need to do it 4 times because there's 4 emojis, right? So what do we do here? Let's use a for each loop because that's the easiest thing to do. So we for each through this entire array and we just add all of these emojis as reactions onto this message. Pretty simple, right? So what we can do is say for each, and we can say var emoji in the emoji options, and then we can just simply use that that method that we just saw there. So what we can do is say await sent poll, and then we can say create reaction async. So create reaction async, and let's see what it needs. It needs a Discord emoji, and that's literally what emoji is in this for each loop. So it's going to get every single emoji in this array, and it's just going to create it as a reaction on our poll message over here. So let's check if this works first of all. So now we've got to pass in our 4 options and then our poll title, and then what it's going to do is it's going to create our poll message as an embed, and then it's going to react with all of these 4 emojis on this message right here. Let's give it a test. So let's press start, and then let's say poll. So poll. Let's put in our 4 options. So like our poll title, let's use the same example. So let's put our favorite fruit. So let's say apples, and then let's say orange, and then let's put, I don't know, mango, and then let's put, I don't know, strawberry. And then the poll title is what is your favorite fruit? So already, as you can see, there's literally like a serious issue with writing this as a prefix command. Is because there's too many parameters in here. So later on in the series, we will be converting this command into a slash command and still using interactivity. But just for this video and just to get you guys used to interactivity, I'm just gonna have to do it like this. So let's put a question mark there and let's send this command off. So there we go. Look at the bot doing its work. So there we go. It's got our poll title, what is your favorite fruit, and then it's got all of our 4 options tied to those emojis. So it's got number 1 as apple, number 2 orange, number 3 mango, and number 4 strawberry. And as you can see, that last part of the code where you for each through these emojis, it's done that for us. So it's for eaching through every single emoji and it's adding that as a reaction. So now I can just vote for number 1, or I can vote for number 3 if I want to. So what we'll do now is let the bot wait for 10-15 seconds, And then after it's waited for that long, it's going to collect the total reactions of everyone that's reacted or, placed their votes. And it's going to calculate which one has won. So let's do that now. Okay, so now let's get round to collecting the reactions from the message once the poll period is over. So, let's make the poll period, right? So let's make like a nice time span variable, and let's decide for ourselves how long do we want this poll to be. So let's say var poll time is equal to, let's say, a time span, and then let's say from seconds, and let's say 10 seconds. So that's very simple. You can change it if you want. So let's say 10 seconds is the default period. So let's get around to collecting the reactions. So let's say var total reactions await interactivity, and then we're going to collect reactions async. So there we go, collect reactions async. So what does this method need? Let's see. So first of all, it needs the message, the Discord message, to collect the messages from, and then it needs a time span, and once again, this time span can be overridden, but the default is what we set here, from minutes to. So first of all, what is the message that we're trying to collect our reactions from? Isn't it this one, the poll message, right? It is going to be this embed, because that's what the reactions are on. So it's going to be this message right here, because this is the message that we are attaching our four emojis to, right? So like here, we're doing sent poll create reaction async, and this is the variable that contains the message that we sent. So we do sent poll, and then let's put our time span on here. So poll time. So it's going to collect what this method is going to do is, after 10 seconds, it's going to collect all the total reactions that were made on this message, and this should give us the values that we need to work with, so that we can figure out who's won the poll. So who's got the highest votes? Is it apple, orange, mango, or strawberry, etc., etc., right? So let's say int count 1, and then let's set that equal to 0, and then let's just copy and paste this 3 more times for the 4 emojis that we've got here. Alright, so now we're going to for each through this total reactions variable, as this contains our totals, right? So let's say for each, and let's say var emoji in the total reactions this time. If any of the reactions that were made match these 4 emojis over here, because that's what we're trying to check for, right? So let's say if the emoji dot name, so if the emoji dot emoji, there we go, the emoji dot emoji is equal to the emoji options and then 0, because that is the first emoji, right? So this if statement is checking if any of those reactions attribute to our number 1 emoji. So if so, then we increment our first count, and we do the same thing for each of these other 3 counts, right? And I am totally aware that this is totally inefficient, but there are better ways to do it, like switch statements, but I'm doing this so I can show you what is happening here. So as it for each is through, we're checking if each of those emojis match any of the options in the array, right? So now we can add up these total counts and get our total votes. So what we can do is say int, and then our total votes is just equal to the totals of this. So count 1 plus count 2 and so on, right? So this is our total count. So now we can display a nice embed message saying who won, or which option got which votes, right? So let's make a nice string that shows that. So let's say string, and then our the results, and let's make the same thing as we did up here, but let's actually show the numbers or total amount of votes that put attributes to each emoji. So rather than showing each option, let's say how many votes they got. So it's going to be a similar string. So let's say emoji options, and then let's say the first emoji, and let's say how many votes it got. So let's put a colon next to it, and then let's say it got count 1 and then votes. So this number 1 emoji should have X amount of votes. So pretty simple, right? And then let's do \n, and let's do the same thing for option 2, 3, and 4 now. So now it's time to make the Discord embed So what we can do is make our embed, so var result embed. So let's say a new Discord embed message. So Discord embed builder, whoops, and then let's say the color, let's put this as green this time. So let's put Discord color and then green. And then let's say the title, and let's say the results of the poll. The description as the results description, and we're done here. Now what we can do is actually put the total votes underneath this. So I can do \n twice, and then we'll say the like total votes is equal to the total votes as we've got up here. So like we're literally just adding all the counts together. Last thing that we have to do is send this message off, and we're done with this command. So let's say await ctx channel send message async, and then we can do the results embed. So embed as the results embed. So cool. So like let's summarize what we've done here. So we've got our interactivity here. So here. So like first of all, so now we've got like a nice Discord emoji array. What emoji corresponds to each option, and we've got exactly that in this nice string here. So the options that the user's passing in will display right here according to like which number which option is, right? And then we've got the nice poll message here which displays that, and we're sending this. But not only this, we're adding the reactions on for each emoji. So each option has its own emoji, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're literally adding those reactions as emojis onto this message. And then what we're doing next is we are waiting for the poll period. So by default, I've set it as 10 seconds up here. And what this is going to do is it's going to wait on that message for 10 seconds. And then after that, it's going to collect the reactions. So now we have the 10-second period to vote. After that, it's going to collect all the reactions. And then over here, we're sorting through all of those reactions and seeing how many people voted for each of those 4 emojis, right? So after we've done that, we are getting our total votes, and we're basically displaying, how many people voted for each emoji. And then we're just putting this into a nice embed and sending it off, and that's the poll command done. So let's put all of this to the test. So start. So that will do the same thing again. So that will send this exact same command again, but let's wait for 10 seconds. Let's just put a few reactions on, and let's see what happens after 10 seconds. So let's put this. So let me just vote for, I don't know, number 1 and number 3. So let's pretend that 2 users has voted number 1 and number 3, and no one has voted for number 2 and 4. And there we go, 10 seconds has already gone by very quickly, and as you can see, here's the results of the poll. So as you can see, it's correct. So there's 1 vote on apple and 1 vote on mango. Bear in mind, this is not counting the bot's own reaction. Like there we go, total votes 2, and that's a very good example of using interactivity in a real life command, or like a real life use case. Like obviously this code can be made a lot better, but it's just like an example to show you how interactivity works. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this like this part on interactivity. There's a lot more that you can do with this, but this is just the basics of interactivity and how you can interact with a Discord bot. If you have any questions, then make sure to comment below or join my Discord server. Link is in the description below, because that's where we'll be able to diagnose your like your issues in more detail. So if you have a really bad issue, then please consider joining our Discord server so that we can talk to you. Like aside from that, make sure you guys like and subscribe to my channel. Obviously make sure to check the Discord bot template, do all that stuff, and I'll see you lot in the next episode. Peace out.